Uh, just me. So it's November 2015. I know it's been a little while since my last video, so I'm just doing a kind of a general update, really. Um, so I'm having uh, injections of testosterone every 4 weeks. I used to be on what was kind of Sustanon every 4 weeks, but what they put me on now is just kind of a different trade name for it. It's just testosterone ethanoate. Um, the test results came back from Charing Cross regarding my blood work and stuff, and they said everything's normal, so I can keep on that for now. Um, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in the long term because I don't think as though I'm going to be having every 4 weeks an injection for the rest of my life. But it doesn't seem anything that's been discussed, even brought up or thought about at Charing Cross. So my next appointment with them is January this next year. So I can discuss it with them then. I think they're looking to discharge me at that point. Voice-wise, I think it's stayed about plateaued at the minute. People say that your voice keeps getting deeper for like the first 5 years or whatever, but I haven't particularly noticed it got any deeper just recently. About my injections, so every 4 weeks I have it, and it's taken out of the stock of the pharmacy. Because living in Eastbourne there's a lot of older kind of men around, they quite regularly have injections of testosterone anyway because their hormone levels are low, so they have a fair amount in stock, so I just have that, and it saves them writing a prescription, saves me going to a pharmacy and getting it, paying prescription charges and things like this, so it works out itself out quite nicely. The nurse, one of the nurses that I've had one of the nurses that I've had to that's done my injection quite a few times, she's previously asked if there's anything that I can think of that the practice can do to make it better for kind of trans patients and things. And I've mentioned about kind of smear tests and things because I've got that anatomy and I won't be flagged up for a smear test, but in a good few decades I'll be flagged up for a prostate exam, which won't be beneficial for anyone. So I left it with her, she put me on the list for a smear test, and I had my letter come through for a smear test. So I had my smear test. It wasn't the most comfortable situation in the world, but I had the results come back and everything's fine. And that's it for the next 2-3 years. So I'm glad now I'm on the list, and I'm going to stop anything problematic there. Kind of downstairs wise, there's significant growth down there. I don't think at the moment it's at its I was going to say its peak. I don't think it's at its most of its growth. I think there's still more growth to happen. But I think quite a few videos have seen people are like, oh, I'm 6 months on the hormones and I haven't got any growth downstairs, and I felt like that for the first year or so. And it's only after the first year and a bit that I've noticed much more. It's a lot bigger down there than when it was before any hormones. And I think when you see yourself every day, you don't notice those changes. But then, like when Amy's kind of seen it after a long gap or whatever, she's noticed how much bigger it is, which is quite nice, getting those kind of feedbacks and things. But I think for everyone out there, if you've been on hormones for a while and you've not got much growth, I think you see people on YouTube and Tumblr and things, and it's like, oh, they've got really big growth, and it's like, why haven't I got that? Give yourself time. I'm coming up to 2 years, and I'm nothing compared to them. I'm nothing compared to some guys out there, but just giving yourself that time and not putting that pressure on. Hair-wise, so this is me participating in No Shave November. So this is coming up to 3 weeks with no shave. I don't know how much it comes out on this video, but sideburns much more equal. Yeah, I've got a fair amount of hair underneath here. It does take a long while for it to kind of grow. I'm getting a little bit more kind of this sort of region, but it's still very sparse and very odd. Got got a little bit of hair as a tash, but nothing significant. And again, it's one of these things. It comes in a really weird pattern. But I've always thought, kind of looking at my kind of facial hair and things, this bit here, because I've got no hair, it's as smooth as anything. But one of my really good friends, we were talking about kind of beard growth and things like a couple of weeks ago, and he's got nothing there either. It's like you could feel that part of him, and it felt as smooth as anything. There's just no hair there, and there never has been. So I think sometimes we expect to have all this hair, we expect to have the most manly things. But then you look at a lot of guys out there, if you kind of had full and frank conversations with them, you'd realise actually I'm not that different to them, and I feel a lot less pressure, a lot more comfortable with the fact that I don't have anything there. Yeah, it might come in, and they always say look at kind of family members and things like that. My dad, he had a lot of facial hair, and as far as I can remember, my uncles and significant uncles anyway had a lot of facial hair, a fair amount anyway. So who knows? It takes time, doesn't it? Libido wise, it's definitely improved to what it was right at the beginning, before hormones and things. I think before hormones, I really didn't have much interest just because I got so dysphoric through anything. It was as if literally I just had to wear clothes everywhere all the time, and it wasn't a comfortable thing for me. I know some people, they don't have that, which is great. Some people do. There's no rule, I don't think, for trans people. I think some people go, trans people should feel dysphoric and you shouldn't be comfortable doing this. But we all have different levels of dysphoria over different things. I'm a lot more comfortable and I can do a lot more, kind of intimate wise with Amy, especially since top surgery. I'm a lot more comfortable. I'm a lot more happy taking my shirt off, for instance. I can, and it's little things like that that build up. But I think what I've learnt during this whole process, and I think I don't know if they could have been, but there may have been times where it was a lot more difficult between me and Amy. I think communication is the big thing, because yes, if you're on hormones or wanting hormones, you're going through and you're wanting to go through a lot of changes. And I think it's always thinking about the people around you, making sure that you're keeping them involved in situations, you're making them aware of things, and you've got that constant communication and you're constantly open and things like that. And that's me and Amy. There are sometimes we have to sit down and have a full and frank conversation and about changes and what we like and what we don't like and things like that. But that's constantly happening, that's constantly changing, and it's, as long as you're accepting that you're going to have those conversations, relationships can work. Top surgery wise, I'm really happy with my chest. It's just getting better and better. I'm getting more and more confident. I've previously mentioned in my last videos about doing hydrotherapy at work. So it's going into a pool about 35, 36 degrees centigrade, couple of hours, 2 days a week, and I was doing that for about 4 months or so. So I started off going in swim shorts and a rash vest, but towards the end of those sessions I just felt really claustrophobic just because it's really hot and things. So the last couple of months or so I was just wearing my swim shorts and going shirtless, going topless, and it felt really good. Yes, I did have a couple of patients that did ask what happened, what scars, and oh my god, are you okay? I had one man I particularly remember. He was genuinely concerned about my health. Some people, they're not sure what it is, and I think sometimes just out of notice, oh, what's that, and things like that. But I'm, in theory, preferred them asking rather than talking about it behind my back. I'm always up for people asking me questions and things. So I had a few people ask me questions. One man was really concerned, and he came into the pool and said, oh my god, I didn't see those scars last week, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Your instant reaction when anyone asks you that, I was thinking, what happens if they realise what the scars are and they have something against trans people or whatever. So I said, I had surgery earlier this year, but everything's okay and I'm fine and I'm better. And that was it. There was probably a couple of situations within there I felt like I could and I was going to tell them about my history, but the conversation quickly moved on and we left it and it was fine. Yes, I'm so much more happier about my chest, and that has allowed much more kind of intimate things between me and Amy, which has helped us and helped our relationship to end, really. Right, let's have a little look at my chest. Oh. Right. I've got a lot more hair across my chest than what I had previously. Me and Amy went to a gig the other week and I had a vest on and I had a couple of these random hairs just tucked over top of my vest. And Amy was like, what are those? And I was like, oh, it's my hair. She's like, oh, Zack. I was like, what? But yes, the hair's a lot better and you can see kind of where it's going, that it kind of hides the scars a little bit. I haven't been putting any moisturiser, massaging or any creams or anything on my scars. What I'm probably going to end up doing is doing it as a New Year's resolution and see if I can keep doing that leading up to the summer and things. I've got a few spots anyway coming in. This scar here is a little bit thicker and a little bit more kind of puckered compared to the other side, but I think I had an adverse reaction to that tape, but that it's getting better. Sensation wise, I can feel most things. I've got a lot more sensation in my nipples than what I previously had, which is really strange. Not sure if I like it or not. But yeah, these ones on the inside, they're beginning to fade really nicely actually. My nipples I'm still really happy with. Every so often they're still a little bit too sensitive, but it's getting better. What else do I need to say? So the beginning of this year, sort of March time, part of the physiotherapies union, we had a conference. It was up in Manchester, and I put forward a motion saying that basically that the union should provide some information for physios for when they treat trans patient, kind of in the early stages and later on, advice they should give for if a physio's colleague or whoever comes out as trans, basically what support you should give. It was passed unanimously, and from that they were doing an article in the magazine that we get every couple of weeks about kind of trans and things like this. So they asked me if it would be okay if they interviewed me, which I said yes. And so I was on the phone for about 40 minutes with a journalist, which was really strange. So she asked me loads of questions and bits and pieces of what advice I'd give and kind of thoughts and things like that. So she's now written a 1,000-word article, and she has since sent that to me on an email, because my concern was, because I know, there's a lot of things on the internet, TV and magazines and things which are set with all good intentions, and in order to get people to read or watch them, they put a slightly different spin on them than the people that have signed up for it realised. So she has sent me the written article, and I'm happy with the way that things are. There's a couple of things though we've had her kind of rephrase and reword, but everything's good. And then they're also going to do some guidance around it as well. And so Amy suggested maybe we could have a photo of us on it, because in the article it mentions about Amy being really supportive and stuff. So the magazine said yes to the photos. So last weekend, me and Amy met a photographer down on the sunny Eastbourne seafront, where it was windy and rainy, and we had a load of photos done down on the pier and down on the seafront. It was a really weird environment because you just had everyone walking past, and he was getting us in places and poses, not like ridiculous poses, but kind of standing with each other and things, and just everyone was just walking around nearby, which was really odd. But so he sent off loads of photos, and he's going to send me some as well, which will be really good, so I can get some photos, professional photos as well. So when that article comes out, because it's not one that everyone can access, you have to be a member to access it. So I'm going to probably do another video about the article, really, about the processes. And I'm probably going to be going to another couple of conferences next year about trans needs and things like this. So I've always thought that, yes, I'm trans. If people, once they've transitioned, go into the closet, go stealth, they're not going to be making things easier for the future, for, you know, people that are wanting to transition. So because I'm trans, I can't change it, but I want to make life easier for people that are coming out and to transition. So I'm trying to do anything I can to make it easier, really, as I said. If it means me being vocal at the moment, I can be vocal at the moment, and I'm not particularly confident, but if I'm put in those situations, I try and make the most out of them I can. So we've got those coming up next year at some point, don't know when they are. What else do I need to say? Me and Amy got engaged about a month ago. I think it's the 10th of October. I picked Amy up from work. She had no idea about it. We drove out to Heathrow. I drove to Heathrow, and we flew to Paris. And we spent the weekend there. It was really nice. I had everything booked and stuff. We went up the Eiffel Tower, came back down again, and there's kind of a grass bit just in front of the Eiffel Tower where everyone does those pictures for like imagery and things of the finger onto the Eiffel Tower. And there's a grass bit there, so we kind of were there, sat down there for a bit and had a chat, and I proposed to Amy and she said yes. So we've got a lot to plan. Hopefully, at the minute we're planning for it to be 2017, so we've got a year and a bit to kind of sort things out, which is quite nice. And Amy's aunt is a celebrant, so it's going to be classed as a civil partnership purely because it's not in a church. So we kind of always thought that the civil partnerships were between two men or two women, but civil partnership term is now for straight couples and everything between, really. So it's going to be somewhere down in East Sussex, and so Amy's aunt is going to be the actual one to do the ceremony and marry us, which we're not a stereotypical couple, so there's going to be differences within our wedding compared to everybody else's. We're not, as we've said, we're not having best men, not having a best man and groomsmen, and we're not having bridesmaids. We're having like a collection of kind of best people that mean things in our lives, because a lot of our friends are our friends. I don't have a group of guy buddies that we go out and drink every weekend, and you know, a lot of our friends are together, and our uni friends are our uni friends because we went to uni together. And it's like for our stag and hen do's, we can have one joint thing, because the friends that are ours, they would like to go to both of ours, and our uni friends, they're from all over the UK, they're from like Wales and London and bits and pieces, and we don't want them to have to either do two things or choose. So we can do one thing altogether, but it's a lot to plan and stuff. I know that when I finish this video, I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to go, I should talk about that, but I can't remember at the moment. I think that's everything. If anyone has got any questions, any advice, if they want any advice, or if they've got any comments, please either feel free to comment in the section. You can either message on this YouTube channel, or you can message me or Amy on Tumblr, and I will put our URLs on the bottom. I do try and reply to all messages and the comments and things. Sometimes it may take me a little while depending on what's happening in life and things, but I will generally try and get all replies and everything, and I appreciate every comment and everyone watching these. I've always wanted to do things to, as I said, make life easier and better for people, and if I can provide just little insights and little bits of advice, things that I've done, I hope I'm helping people, really. Simple. So yeah, if you've got any messages or whatever, please feel free. I think that's everything. Alright then, see you all later.